All right, to discuss this further with us, we're now being joined by Giorgio Cafiero from Washington, D.C. Mr. Cafiero is a professor at Georgetown University at the CEO of Gulf State Analytics. Professor Cafiero, welcome to World DNA. Thanks so much for joining us here. The first phase has been agreed upon. It's finally some good news after months and months, or rather now 2 years of full-fledged war. At this point, how do you see this proceeding in terms of how soon will this exchange start taking place, and which are the other parties which make this happen on the ground?
Yeah, thank you. So great to be back on your show. Always an honor to be your guest. My understanding is that the two sides are going to be moving forward with their commitments under phase one within the next 5 days. Again, just to repeat, this entails Hamas handing over the Israelis who have been held captive in Gaza, and the Israelis withdrawing to a certain line in Gaza. Now, to get to your question about sort of what will come later on, I think it's important for everyone to appreciate that this process is complicated. Of course, a positive sign that the sides have agreed to phase one of the ceasefire, but there are some sticking points that have yet to be worked out. Very complicated issues. Some of them relate to Hamas disarming. Also questions surrounding post-war governance in Gaza. Many details we don't have right now. The plan seems very vague, but I think in upcoming days, weeks and months, maybe we'll see the different sides with support from different actors in the region try to negotiate through these points.
Right. There are still some sticking points and, of course, ambiguity that has to be straightened out. But that being said, that also brings us to the question of trust, or perhaps the lack of it. Now, Hamas has confirmed the deal, but it's calling on Trump and other guarantors to make sure that Israel sticks to the word. Now, given how fragile these truces can be, how deep the mistrust stands on both the sides. Now, what kind of guarantees and oversight could actually make this deal stick?
Well, this is one of the big weaknesses, I think, of Trump's 20-point initiative, is the fact that there are not really any mechanisms in place to ensure that Israel is going to continue abiding by the terms of the ceasefire after Hamas has handed over all of the living Israelis who have been held captive in Gaza. And this is a huge concern on the part of Hamas and really all the Palestinians in Gaza, a concern that Israel will resume waging its genocidal war on Gaza. And really, it's very difficult for Hamas to believe that the Trump administration is going to hold Israel accountable and put pressure on Israel to continue abiding by the terms of the ceasefire. I'm sure all your viewers are aware Israel does not exactly have an impressive record when it comes to abiding by ceasefires. So I think all of those concerns are very valid concerns about what will happen after phase one.
The U.S. president saying that it will play a role in helping to rebuild war-torn Gaza and keep it safe and peaceful. And, this is something which we were just discussing earlier. It's vague. Who takes care of Gaza after this? Who gets appointed to run things in Gaza? That still remains a question. But now there seems to be a more profound U.S. imprint that is looming over it. Do you feel so?
Yeah, I mean, this is, of course, a situation in which Trump is making very bold claims, not necessarily offering any details. So it will be important to see specifically what Trump is talking about. Perhaps he'll provide those details at some point soon, at least hopefully at some point. But I think it also needs to be pointed out that when Trump was running for president in 2024, he really sent the message out to U.S. voters and really to people all over the world that unlike Joe Biden, he was going to be a president who would bring peace to the world. He would be able to negotiate peace deals. We haven't seen that take place in the Ukraine conflict. But when he was running for president, he did say he was going to bring the war in Gaza to an end. So I think right now, with the two sides agreeing to phase one, this is really at least in terms of the optics, this is a huge win for Trump. it gives him a chance to really say that he's making good on his 2024 campaign pledge during the first year of his second term. Again, we have to see what happens with the phases beyond this first one, but right now Trump is really focusing on, emphasizing that he is a president who knows how to negotiate deals and how to bring conflicts to a conclusion. And I think probably so far in his second term, this is his biggest diplomatic breakthrough.
All right, Professor Kafiro, thanks so much for joining us here on World DNA. And I guess cautious optimism is what everyone is, wanting to exercise at this point. And, not to be pessimistic, but precedent only suggests that phase one doesn't necessarily mean phase two is going to be as smooth or phase three will even happen. But let's just be cautiously optimistic and just see that hopefully there seems to be a resolution at the end of this. That was Professor Kafiro joining us here on World DNA.
Thank you.
Yes.